Solid waste management has been identified as one of the major environmental concerns of the city of Douala, the economic capital of Cameroon. One of the most important environmental consequences of the process of urbanization in Cameroonian towns is the immense and ever-growing amount of solid waste, most of which remain uncollected and are dumped on vacant land or into gutters, from where the waste is washed into water bodies, resulting to a negative impact on the environment.
As mentioned previously, 1,200 tons of the solid waste are generated each day in Douala, and 400 of the 1,200 remain on the streets. Why does so much trash remain on the streets of Douala? One is the lack of urban planning. Douala has seen a rapid growth in the population, and the government has not been able to keep up with it. Currently, there's 3.5 million people living in Douala, and there's a 3.5% annual growth rate. Many people within Douala have different waste management practices that may or may not be appropriate for a big city. Currently, waste management practices lumps all the trash together, which causes pollution. Lastly, a 2008 study about health risk water supply in Douala found that rules for waste management were minimal. So what are the effects of poor solid waste management practices in Douala? Air pollution from methane, nitrogen dioxide, and carbon dioxide gas is produced at current landfills. There's a decline in the beauty of the city from waste being piled up, and there's pollution of the groundwater and water pollution from toxins seeping into the ground at current landfills. Rats and mosquitoes can easily access the current landfills, so they frequently visit and carry their diseases to human populations. Some of the health consequences of poor waste management are cholera, dysentery, typhoid fever, diarrhea, malaria, and other skin diseases. So, what are the characteristics of solid waste in Douala that are causing these problems? The modern lifestyle of Douala has changed the nature of the waste. Currently, it is made of organic, glass, metal, plastic, textiles, and pulp. The majority of current waste is organic, but is decreasing in content. So what is the current waste management strategy in Douala? The current government structure puts authority on the municipal council to aid with the management of solid waste. Since HISACOM has the expertise in solid waste management, they carry out the waste management plan set by the government. This diagram shows the current solid waste management strategy with 40 to 50% of the waste being unmanaged. The public and private partnership with HISACOM is the main program by which household waste is currently collected. Almost every part of the waste stream for Douala is executed by HISACOM. The red X on the current slide indicates where the current system is failing. While the partnership with HISACOM has been helpful, more work needs to be done. In many of the low-income areas and slums, these areas are inaccessible to collection trucks. Overall, there's not enough transportation to collect the trucks throughout Douala, and the landfills are too close to living areas. In addition, there's a lack of proper education on waste disposal, and there are low rates of recycling currently. So how do we address this problem? We have several proposed solutions that would work best if all implemented together, the most important being community education. Beyond community education, we propose moving landfilling, increasing transportation, increasing collection points, rates of recycling, and composting as well. Community education and awareness is the most important thing because many in Douala are not educated on proper solid waste management techniques. Many people throw their trash back on the street after it's been collected, so the streets look like they have never been cleaned, and currently there's a small amount of community educators, but we would like to increase the amount. And they will educate the population on composting, recycling, and other parts of the solid waste management practices. Composting is needed since 60% of the waste is organic. Residents of Douala will be taught how to compost at home in order to decrease the amounts of organic waste. We propose a sustainable community-based collection system. A 2011 study on waste management in Douala showed that recycling is the most effective technique for reducing the amount of municipal solid waste disposed at landfill sites. The plan is to establish pre-collection points for recycling throughout Douala. Currently, HISACOM already has points for pre-collection points for garbage, so our plan would add various bins for recycling along with an investment from the government. So the service contract with the government with HISCOM would include recycling arrangements. One of the benefits of recycling materials is that it can generate revenue for the city and local residents. The expanded pre-collection points would help the city of Douala. By adding pre-collection points throughout the city, we will increase the amount of collection that's happening, and since there currently is not enough collection points. Also, we'll propose to increase the amount of transportation between collection points and landfills. Lastly, we propose to use increased trucks to help carry waste to landfills that are not near the city. The landfills will be sanitary landfills, so we would decrease the amount of toxins seeping into the groundwater and air pollution from the landfills. How can the Municipal Council fund this? We want to strengthen the public-private partnership with HISCOM and encourage other companies to come and invest in waste management in Douala. We will offer tax breaks for any companies willing to invest in solid waste management in Douala for the next 25 years, and this will help improve the amount of solid waste that is collected in Douala. There are several benefits to our proposed solutions. There's job creation and improved health outcomes with less people suffering from diseases caused by poor solid waste management. And also there's been increased education on management of solid waste, which will in turn help decrease the amounts of waste that pile up on the streets.
With the help of ISACAM and all the levels of government within Cameroon, Douala can become a cleaner city and reach its goals of increasing recycling and becoming a leader in Central African waste management.